On behalf of Group C2, I extend a warm greeting to our Vice Dr. Amirul and my fellow cosmate. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss the Tobago Berhad's current issues and provide recommendations to solve it. We truly appreciate your time and attention for this session. To begin, Tobago Berhad is a small listed company based in Penang that install and design high-value CNC system for manufacturers around the world. Even with 300 employees, it earns 90% of its revenue from international sales. The company outsources all its manufacturing and put a lot into R&D and also export marketing to stay ahead in technology. Mr. Tang, the CEO and major shareholder, personally drives the company's innovation and long-term growth. However, Tobago Berhad faces challenges with internal control and governance because of informal board and over-reliance on Mr. Tang's leadership. This case looks at these issues and suggests ways that the company could be improved. Moving to question 1, identify and evaluate the existing control within Tobago Berhad, including those applied by Mr. Tang. Firstly, Mr. Tang adopted a highly centralized leadership model, personally controlling major decisions and communicating daily with the global teams. While this speed up the operation, it reduced the role of middle managers, affect employee motivations and also create stressful work environment. Secondly, Tobago Berhad manage cash flow using spreadsheet-based analysis. It is very important because the company deals with expensive equipment sales that have long lead times and delay payment. However, this manual method could increase risk of human errors and outdated data. Moving to an automated system would strengthen the financial tracking. The company used high salary to attract and retain top talent, encouraging high performance cultures. But it also increased financial risk during economic crisis and may lead to high agency costs. Next, I will pass to Ziying.
Thank you, Shafika. I will continue with two more important control strategies used by Tobago Berhad. Firstly, non-financial performance measurements applied by Mr. Tang accomplish his objective of promoting a culture of expansions, ongoing innovations, and great customer satisfactions. Mr. Tang used customer satisfaction level to guide employee efforts as without specific target, staff motivations could decline, leading to poor service quality, customer loss, and reduced profitability. However, non-financial measures also had challenges such as time-consuming and sometimes it may cost outweigh the benefit. Therefore, Mr. Tang must carefully balance the cost and advantage to ensure that truly add value without creating unnecessary overhead. Secondly, Tobago Berhad also relies on patent protection as a business control. Patents give the company exclusive rights over its innovations, safeguarding its competitive advantage, which also encourages companies to continue innovating. For instance, Tobago Berhad invests heavily over 20 of annual sales into research and development to maintain this edge. Nevertheless, patents may have loopholes that allows competitors to infringe, and defending patents to legal actions can be very costly and time-consuming. Thus, Tobago Berhad must ensure it has sufficient financial resources, not only for R&D but also to support potential legal challenges in protecting its intellectual property.
Thank you, Zing. Now I would like to continue with question 2, which was write a report to Board of Tobago Berhad recommending improvement to the company's corporate governance, risk management strategy, and internal controls. Firstly, we need to identify what are the issues happening in Tobago Berhad. Tobago Berhad has a majority shareholdings and the board of 5 members are controlled by Mr. Tang, who is the chairman and chief executive. To overcome this, Tobago Berhad must separate the role of chairman and chief executive. Tobago Berhad must appoint non-executive chairman to enhance the independence and the objectivity of board leadership. Moreover, the second issue was lack of board independence. 4 out of 5 members have a close relationship with Mr. Tang, who is his wife and his friends. To overcome this, Tobago Berhad must appoint at least 2 new independent non-executive directors. Those directors will have different ideas and creative solutions to overcome the problems which faced by the company. Next, the third one is informal board processes. Tobago Berhad had its meeting quarterly and informal affairs. To overcome this, Tobago Berhad must have its meeting regularly and follow an organized schedule to focus on the key areas such as financial performance, risk management strategy, strategy initiative, and regulatory compliance. And the last one is absence of board committee. There are no formal board committee in Tobago Berhad. To overcome this issue, Tobago Berhad might establish some board committees such as audit committee, remuneration committee, and nomination committee. This type of committee will improve the effectiveness of Tobago Berhad.
Thank you, Hemaram. Moving on, Tobago Berhad faces three critical risk management issues. First, the company fully outsourced its manufacturing operation. Outsourcing a non-core activity can boost the efficiency. Outsourcing a core function like manufacturing operation exposes Tobago to serious supply chain risk. A real-world example is Toyota's 1997 crisis, where fire at one of its supplier factory, Aisin Seki, forced Toyota to stop its production of approximately 70,000 of vehicles. To avoid this issue, Tobago Berhad should maintain a minimum inventory buffer and leveraging data analytics tools to track sales and optimize the inventory level, balancing cost with supply chain resilience. Secondly, currently there is no formal risk assessment framework in place. Mr. Tang's tendency for high-risk decision is acceptable personally, it can jeopardize the interest of shareholders. As a listed company, Tobago Berhad should separate its personal risk appetite from corporate decision making. It is recommended to integrate Enterprise Risk Management Framework or ERM, where it ensures risks are identified, assessed, and managed systematically at corporate level, giving stakeholders greater confidence in company decision making. Thirdly, while investing in R&D is crucial for long-term survival, Tobago's research and development portfolio carries high strategic risk without a structured risk assessment. Investment outcomes are uncertain, and without the alignment to the market need, the company risks of repeating the same mistake of what Kodak did in 1990s to earlier 2000, where it invested heavily in film business while the market was shifting towards digital photography. Eventually, in 2012, Kodak filed for bankruptcy because it couldn't catch up with the market, because other competitors like Nikon, Sony, or Canon took over the market share. To avoid this issue, Tobago Berhad should critically and truly assess its R&D portfolio before approving or initiating any project.
Thank you, Hussein. To further enhance Tobago Berhad, I would provide some recommendation from an internal control perspective. Firstly, I would recommend implementing a centralized ERP system. Currently, Tobago's sales officers operates independently and reports informally to Mr. Tang by phone call. Lack of standardization leads to inconsistent data and misreporting. Adopting a centralized ERP system such as Oracle will standardize reporting, providing real-time updates and visibility for the head office. Secondly, I would recommend establishing a centralized procurement policy. Currently, Tobago outsources manufacturing equipment without a supplier evaluation process or quality control. This leads to poor quality, delays, higher costs, and potential conflict of interest. Having a clear supplier criteria and formal contracts will ensure accountability, quality, and cost control. Thirdly, I would recommend introducing a structured expense accrual process with an automated system. Currently, Tobago pays above market salaries and incurs large travel expenses without any formal approval, increasing the risk of overspending and fraud. Implementing an approval hierarchy and using automated software like SAP Concur will enhance transparency. For example, Ernst & Young EY uses Concur for their employee expense claiming process. Finally, I would recommend establishing an internal audit function. Currently, all the internal controls are managed solely by Mr. Tang without any independent review, increasing the risk of undetected fraud. Creating an internal audit department or outsourcing it will allow regular review, providing assurance to the board. An audit committee should also be set up to oversee the activities, ensuring transparency. By implementing all these recommendations, including those that has been shared by two of my other members, Tobago Berhad can enhance transparency and support its sustainable growth.
Thank you, Tevishri. Now I'll continue with question 3 on identify the exchange risks faced by Tobago Berhad and recommend the methods that could be used to manage those risks. Tobago Berhad exports almost 90% of its high-tech equipment and invoices customers in the local currencies. They are highly exposed to currency fluctuations, which were affecting both cash flow and competitiveness. There are three types of forex risk that Tobago faces. The first risk is transaction risk. This occurs when exchange rate changes between agreeing a deal and receiving payments. Since payments are made in stages over several months and Tobago issues invoices in foreign currencies, any currency decline like euro weakens will reduce the amount received in Malaysian ringgit, which will impact the cash flow and profitability. The second risk is translation risk. Tobago global sales officers record their assets and liabilities in different currencies. Exchange rate movement can cause variations in reported financial statements, even if the underlying business performance remains stable. This can cause confusions among stakeholders and investors, making it harder to accurately assess the true financial health. The third risk is economic risk. A stronger Malaysian ringgit can make Tobago's product become more expensive overseas, making it less competitive compared to international rivals with weaker currency. This could result in reduced market demand, loss of market share, and challenges in maintaining their premium pricing strategy. That's all from me. Now I'll pass to Chenny.
Thank you, Cherry. To manage the risk, Tobago Berhad should take effective action. First, since more of the company's sales are for export, therefore, transaction risk is unavoidable. To manage the transaction risk, Tobago Berhad is advised to use forwarded contract to lock down the exchange rate when dealing with foreign buyer. This is to make sure that during stage payment that made over several months will not be negatively impacted by the exchange rate fluctuation. Next, as for the translation risk, Tobago Berhad can open sales office overseas and operate in local currency. For example, revenue from European sales could be matched with the expenses in euros. This approach, known as nature hugging, which can help Tobago Berhad to reduce its translation risk by minimizing the amount that need to convert into Malaysian ringgit. This approach can also stabilize Tobago's reported earnings. Next, to further manage economic risk, Tobago Berhad could expand into countries with stable currency like US dollar. For example, selling equipment in US dollar could protect the company if the Malaysian ringgit weaken. In short, by having the proactive action to address the currency issue, Tobago Berhad will be able to maintain its profitability. That's all from our group. Before we wrap up, let me quickly summarize the key points from our presentation today. So, Tobago Berhad have strong growth potential, but there are some key areas may need improvement to ensure long-term success. First, strengthening internal control. Second, improve corporate governance. Third, enhancing risk management. And fourth, proactively manage currency risk. By having these strategies there, Tobago Berhad will be able to maintain its shareholders' confidence and support Mr. Tan's vision for sustainable global growth. We hope that our presentation today can give some inspiration to the boss. That's all for us. Thank you.